guarantee that almost everybody in this room has used a Johnson & Johnson product once in their life. I can say this confidently because according to Morningstar.com and Johnson & Johnson's website, they have 12 times the average market capital of any company in their field. I'm Hunter Brass, and this is my partner, Guadalupe. We're both finance majors at St. Edward's University, and we've done extensive research on Johnson & Johnson. And here today we're going to tell you a little bit about it. First off, we're going to tell you about who Johnson & Johnson is, how they've built up their foundation to be one of the companies that they are today that has lasted 100 plus years. Then we will tell you about the present and current situations and the positives and negatives of their actions today. Then we'll finally tell you about their future contributions and how they're impacting the world and their company. Let's begin. All right, what is Johnson & Johnson? Johnson & Johnson was created by three brothers, Robert, James, and Edward Johnson, but namely Robert Johnson. He wanted to create an antiseptic world where he created his first invention in 1888, which was the ready-to-use surgical dressing for doctors to use at their disposal. And that started to put them on a high plate and launch them into the market. Through the years of 1888 to 1987, they've created inventions that have lasted throughout the centuries. Namely, they started the first aid kit, which has been in almost every household that we know of today. And then they started to make products for sanitary protection for women, which really shined light in that sector of public health. They then created products that you can find on any shelf, such as dental floss or the brand name Band-Aid that you can find on any scratch or wound. And then in the most recent years, they created things for parents such as the No More Tears shampoo, which they are very thankful for, and stuff that I'm wearing right now, such as my daily contacts, they created that. But Johnson & Johnson, they're not just about their products, they're also about their services. In the most recent years, they've donated $1.1 billion to around 600 programs in more than 100 countries around the world. But unfortunately, in 1982, they did have one of the biggest recalls in American history, according to drugfacts.com. And that was where 7 people died of cyanide-laced extra-strength Tylenol, where 31 million bottles were recalled and set them back quite a bit. Now I'm going to take it over to my partner to tell us more about the current controversies.
Johnson & Johnson has recently been in the spotlight due to a baby powder incident. The company was sued because more than 1,000 women realized that the baby powder they were putting on certain parts of their body caused ovarian cancer. Studies dating back to 1971 conclude that the talc powder, which makes up about 98% of the baby powder, can cause ovarian cancer. According to Bloomberg, the 2015 annual report stated that more than 75,000 people filed for product liability. And since 2013, Johnson & Johnson has paid about $5 billion in legal settlements. And this number alone does not include the 2016 baby powder incident. And since baby powder is a cosmetic, it does not have to be FDA regulated. Moving on, Johnson & Johnson is number 39 in the Fortune 500. According to Hoover, its total assets come to about $133 billion, and its liabilities to around $62 billion. It also has more than 265 operating companies throughout the world. For its future plans, Johnson & Johnson plans to purchase Abbott Medical Optics for about $4.33 billion in cash. This acquisition, according to CNBC, will let Johnson & Johnson become a more broad-based leader in vision care. Since eye health is fast-growing, Abbott shares are more than 1% higher than Johnson & Johnson, a leading pharmaceutical company. Johnson & Johnson is also contributing to the global public health. There are ongoing research to develop new vaccines, and their goal, according to the company website, is for every child to be born HIV-free. They also want to prevent maternal and child deaths and find new treatments to fight tropical diseases. They do all of this by donating medicines and supporting technological devices in these fields. I will now take it back to Hunter so he can conclude the presentation.
All right, so today we've seen how the company has grown and built up a foundation that has lasted 100+ years. And then we looked at how they're doing right now, their current standings in the market, and what they're doing positively and negatively. And then we looked at, finally, the future acquisitions that can help build the company, and then the public health that can help build society. Thank you so much for listening, and I'd like to leave the floor open up for questions. Feel free to